If your calendar isn't booking meetings on autopilot, you're leaving time and revenue on the table. Let's fix that with HubSpot's Meeting Scheduler today.
Welcome to HubSpot Mentors, brought to you by Red Pandas Digital. I'm Tasha, joined by the one and only solution seeker, Semih. And just like Semih said, if you're tired of endless back and forth emails, are you free now, are you free then, how about then HubSpot's Meeting Scheduler can definitely save you time. It'll smooth out the entire process, and it's really, really good only if it's set up correctly. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, is setting up your HubSpot Meeting Scheduler properly, and we're going to give you some pro tips around what we've seen work best and all that type of stuff.
The HubSpot Meeting Scheduler is a game changer for sales and marketing services, right? So your sales, marketing team, your service team, it's a game changer because it cuts out the back and forth. We all know that, right? Now, we're going to go through how to connect your calendar and configure it so that it works correctly. The key settings that's going to impact your scheduling experience to make sure that you're capturing the things that you need to, or based on your role and how you should set that up. And then look at how to automate reminders and follow-ups. And then we'll also go into some advanced tips like round robin scheduling and custom form fields.
Awesome.
Yeah, so what are some of the problems, Tash, that you see when people setting up Meeting Scheduler?
Yeah, it's a good question, Semih. Often we'll get clients come to us and they, I actually think this happens more often than not, that clients don't even realize they have a meeting scheduler with their HubSpot subscription. They've got no clue. They're still using Calendly or whatever the other like meeting scheduler tools that are out there. And I'll see these like direct traffic sources come from leads. I'm like, Calendly or whatever it might be, why are you using this? You have a meeting scheduler. And they're like, oh my God, I do? Really? Tell me more. So the fact that they don't set it up at all, that's a common problem that we have with clients.
Yeah.
When they do set it up, it's often not configured well. And I've seen this happen many times, plus it's happened to me. They don't configure the additional settings, which we're going to go into shortly, and they accidentally have people booking meetings in with them like on the day, 15 minutes before, 45-hour-long meetings for very basic kind of like sync up calls. So I don't think people take the time to go through the configuration and that, like the setup of a meetings link. And it's very personal. Like we can do it for clients, we can recommend things, but at the end of the day, how you manage your calendar it's very personal, right? Especially your work calendar. You might only work a 3-day work week, which means you only have 3 days available for meetings. So you need to be on top of your meeting configuration and also your calendar, because they are, even though they're synced and they work together, you still need to have, control over what's going in your calendar. So another topic for another day, time management, right? That's a soft skill that we could talk about. But when it comes to using the meeting scheduler, not configuring the basics is one of the things that we see often, or blocking the right time in their calendar. I have noticed as well, and this is getting less and less as the tool gets better, is that the expectations of the tool are too high. So if you're a client of mine or if you've heard me talk about HubSpot before, I'll say like HubSpot is a sales and marketing, like especially marketing specialist. Like it is a specialist when it comes to that stuff. A lot of the other add-on tools or the other features that it has of them, I would refer to them as like GPs or general practitioners, right? So they're good, they can do a job, they can do a general job quite well, but they're not like, it's not a software purposely built for booking meetings and scheduling meetings, right? Calendly doesn't have any other any other features other than its sole purpose is to manage your calendar. So like if I'm being very honest here, Calendly is going to probably be a more superior meeting scheduler, but it also comes at a cost. So you then have to pay another cost for another software on top of that. So I like to manage people's expectations when they come to me and they're like, oh, but Calendly can do blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, well, cool. Calendly's got a whole dev team dedicated to just its one feature, which is meeting scheduling. HubSpot has thousands of features, and the price that you're paying for, you get a pretty decent meeting scheduler with it, which can probably achieve a lot of the things you want to do. So managing those expectations. I also see people just not integrating it with the rest of their systems properly. So what do I mean by that? They'll have people booking in meetings with them, and then like that's automatically coming into HubSpot. That's great, but then we might not like have a good data hygiene or process once those meetings are booked and the contact is in the system. And then we end up with like contacts missing lead sources, they're not getting associated properly. So it can cause some issues there. So we've got some tips around that. So not using it, strategically. Sometimes they've just got it and they're like, oh yeah, there's my meetings link, but they never use it. or they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to have the conversation or the email dialogue with customers or with prospects or with team members on how to use a meeting link. And if it's not used the right way, it can be quite arrogant and dismissive, to be honest.
That's right.
And then finally, one of the things that I would say, or two more things I've got with problems, and Semih, I mean, like, you cut me off at any point in time, otherwise I'll just keep ranting.
That's all right. That's all right.
Having,
that's all right. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Hopefully you agree with what I'm saying. But then there's not having good questions at the end. So if you've got a Sales Pro license, you can have customized questions at the end of your meeting link form thing, right? And if you don't have good questions there, then like you're wasting that feature and you're not gathering good information. So for example, mine, when someone books in a meeting with me, I don't think it's Sales Pro. I think you can get it with Starter. Sorry, that might be a mistake. But I've got a custom form question which says, "What's the call about?" And I can do different links. I understand that, but I don't want multiple links. I'm happy to have one link with just a custom field. When people book in with me, it's either going to be a proposal, a sales call, or like an onboarding call. I know that they're generally the key ones.
Yeah.
And then my final little kind of problem or common issue is kind of on the note of what I just mentioned there. With your different subscription levels, like more and more of the feature is unlocked. So enterprise sales subscription, you get like the full meeting scheduling feature, and there's some really cool features in them. We'll talk about some of those. But with Starter and Pro, it's not as schmeek. But it's okay, there's workarounds.
The thing is, I just want to add there, I know there's a lot of, like, the problems you mentioned are great. And then there's also obviously the side, which is jump into like some form of solutions in there. But when you use the HubSpot Meeting Scheduler, it opens you up to all the workflows and automations and the custom journeys and everything else that you can build off it in an efficient way, right? I know you probably can do that with Calendly and stuff as well, but you know, there is that opportunity to build those journeys dependent on the information that's been filled out off the form in the meeting scheduler. So that's probably the biggest advantage that I think people don't use it enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially and I went on my rant about the problems I find with it. I do think it's a very good tool, so I appreciate you shining some light on. It's super powerful. To Semih's point, setting up automations based off of a meeting being booked, meeting reminders, qualifying people. It cuts down. If you know how to use a meetings link properly in your sales and kind of like discovery processes, you can save a significant amount of time between trying to find not only like when is someone available, but just like here, the next step is booking a meeting with me. And then all of a sudden you've got people booking in.
You know what came to my mind as you were just saying that? How about, I know this is just thinking outside of the box right now. How about having your meeting link attached to a QR code that's on your business card, that when someone says to you, "Hey, can you please, happy to meet you, booking a time with me," whatever that looks like, here's my card, they scan it, they find a time slot, they want to book with you, they book that. Then on the back of that, you can use like some smart automation to report on offline lead sources that would then get attached to your reporting to go, okay, cool, like this many people use, meetings based on face-to-face meeting or any meeting activity or meeting type or any of those stuff. So there's, like I said, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, that's a really good pro tip. If anyone did followed along with what Semih was saying, is basically you can have like your custom meetings link connected to a QR code that you set up somewhere else. If you want to go extra step level further, put some UTM tracking around the URL that's behind that QR code, and then you know that anyone that's generated from that source is from your business card, an expo, whatever the source might be, right? And then that's how powerful, with the right tracking, the right meetings link, we can start to drill down into where we're generating these leads from. Semih, anything else you want to add before I get into the demo of this featured feature?
Also, just on that note as well, I know we'll probably talk about it, but there is the option of requesting payment for people to book your time. Again, that opens up a lot of can worms. I'm sure you'll jump into it in the scheduler. But again, think about some of those scenarios or creative ways of utilizing those features within HubSpot. I know it might seem like a simple meeting scheduler, but there's a lot of things you can do with it on the back end of that.
Awesome.
Let's jump into the feature.
Right. So we are looking at our demo portal over here. Now, first things first, we're going to go over to the left and we're going to go onto the little library over here and we're going to Meeting Scheduler. So this is a full-on walkthrough. If you've never connected your calendar, you've never set this up, this is literally from the beginning to the end. We're going to click Get Started, and the first thing it's going to do is just kind of create me this default meeting link, but you'll see that my calendar is not connected. So as long as you know your Outlook password, or you can quickly kind of grab it, sign in, do the thing, this will do it all very automatically. And then it's going to do some testing, connecting, verifying, all of that beautiful stuff. Boom, calendar's connected. So literally within, like you saw that was like less than 30 seconds, my calendar's now connected to HubSpot. And by default, it's going to give me this meeting link here, right? It's the default one that I set up. I could literally click this now and start using it if I want. You'll see my URL up there. It says /Tasha72. It's connected to my calendar. So it already knows that I'm busy at these certain blocks of time. But what I hate about the default is that it automatically gives you like 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour. It has meetings available every 15 minutes, which is just insane. Not what I want. So what we're going to do is go back into the default meeting and we're going to click edit. And the first few things that, we can edit are what's the meeting going to be called internally. So, if it's just a catch-up meeting, for example, it can just be a catch-up meeting. And then we'll have the organizer will default to me. Now, the event title is what's going to be on the calendar invite to your potential prospect or client, whoever it needs to be. So here I would definitely recommend using personalization tokens. Now they're going to see this as well as you. So think this event title needs to be useful for you and your prospect, right? So if it's going to be like meeting, or let's keep it really straightforward, right? HubSpot training with Tasha at Red Pandas, because they're going to see that. So am I. Then I'm going to put that little vertical pipeline because I love that. And I'm going to use the company name. So it's going to be, ABC Childcare, and the token will be the first name, and I might even do last name. So ABC Childcare, and it's going to be James Smith, right? So now when whoever it is that books in with my meeting, their event title in their calendar is going to say HubSpot Training with Tasha at Red Pandas. Then it's going to have their company and their name. Now, they don't care about their company and their name. Of course, it's them, but it's going in your calendar too. So I would recommend you put that in there. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole bunch of HubSpot Training meetings with Tasha at Red Pandas, and you're not going to know who they are just by the first glance of your calendar. Now, location, because like 90% of our meetings are via Teams now, what you can do is go through and connect your Zoom or Teams. I think Teams you have to do separately, right, Semih? In the
that's right. You got to
Marketplace?
You got to go through Marketplace, and once you do connect it up, you do have two options. So you can do at a company level if you have the admin authority and stuff, or you can do a local one. So if you're just doing it for yourself, so either or, I would recommend that you do that before obviously setting this up. But if you haven't, that's okay. This is a great example. Just go through, save everything. Once that's done, you can go back and add this in later. All right.
Beautiful. Thanks for that, Semih. So yeah, like Semih said, and that's probably a really good pro tip, guys, connect your Teams or your Zoom prior to doing this, because it will then automatically configure, and you can drop that down and then select your Teams or Zoom. I love the cancel and reschedule feature. When this came out a few years back, it was like a game changer for this feature, because the amount of times people would like message me to say, I can't make it anymore, or whatever it might be. And then there was that dance again. Whereas when you put this enabled on your meetings link, when the calendar invite goes out to the person that is booking in with you, it'll actually have in the meeting description, do you need to cancel or reschedule? And it'll have those two links there. They click the links and they can go off and do their own thing. And then you just get notified when something's been updated in your calendar. So I 100% recommend it. I would say turn that on. Then I'm going to go to scheduling. What I can do here is just, again, very basic schedule. What's the meeting title? You can see up here, meeting with TashDB. You can change it if you want to make it more relevant. Doesn't make a difference. I would definitely recommend customizing the duration options. If you're happy to have 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, whatever it might be, maybe you're just offering 15-minute long meetings. What's your time zone? So again, this should default to the country, like your portal's country. It looks like I haven't quite defaulted my portal's country yet. So we're just going to say we're in Darwin. And then your availability window. So the easiest way to do it is, okay, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Now that doesn't mean Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 is going to be available every day, every week. What it just means is it'll read your calendar, whatever your existing meetings are that are in there, it'll know that those are in there and it won't offer those times available. Outside of those meetings that you're already booked, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday will be available. So there's no chance of you being double booked. Personally, I like to configure my availability window day by day. And that's just because I'm a little bit OCD with when I like to have meetings booked. So Monday, I like 9 to 5. Tuesday, I might do 10 till 4. And then Friday specifically, no one's allowed to book me after 12 p.m. because who likes having meetings after 12 p.m. on a Friday? No one, right? So then I have my day-to-day availability window here. You can consider working hours if you'd like. But another thing that people forget, and I was mentioning this before, is the additional settings. Open up the additional settings. Make sure you configure this here, because if you don't, you will have people book in with 15 minutes notice. And it happened to me many times.
Yeah, absolutely. On that note as well, just so you know, while we're here, the organizer avatar, company avatar, custom image, especially the organizer avatar, is actually tied to your profile in HubSpot. So if you go up to the profile and you see it in there, you should definitely put. I've seen so many clients that don't have that, and then they go to, how do I update this? How do I change it? It just falls apart.
Yep.
But yeah.
So you would have noticed mine pulled through automatically, like Semih said, is because my profile's already got a picture of myself. But if you don't have your profile picture in your HubSpot personal profile and preferences, it won't pull through automatically. You've got two options. You can either update it like right here, or you can update your profile one, and then it'll just pull from organizer avatar. So that's a really good point. And definitely put a picture in there, guys. If you're going to use a meetings link, like it's already so digital, try and like personalize it a little bit with a nice image of yourself and a current image, not one from 15 years ago. And then you've got your how long can a meeting when can a meeting be scheduled over a period of rolling time, a custom date range. I think the maximum has been increased now. It used to be 11, but they've opened it up to something like 200 or something. So it's great. You can configure it for business days only. Minimum notice time. This means how much time do you need to know before someone books you into a meeting? Personally, I don't want anyone booking in a meeting with me on the day. I work out of my calendar. My days are booked, generally 2 days in advance. So I like to put 1 day meeting notice, but I've had I've had clients happy to do 30 minutes or an hour. Buffer time, what do you want between those meetings? Let's go 30 minutes. Start time increments, 15, whatever, that's fine. And the last ones there are more or less fine to be on their own. Before you can go to the top tab of automation, there's some tab inception here. You have to go to the form tab. Now, this is where, if you've got the right subscription, I believe it has to be Sales Starter, that you can use contact properties to customize your form. So I'm the prospect, I open up your calendar, I choose the time that I want. I then go to this page here. You can see the preview on the side, which says, okay, well, give us your information first. So what's your name? What's your last name? What's your email? I think company name's a great idea for our B2B clients. I think type of call, if you're having different types of calls. I think what's your biggest problem right now you're facing in your sales and marketing efforts is great for, digital marketers. So think about who you are, who you sell or talk to, and what is a field or a question or a property that you can be asking that's going to give you a bit more context for why they're booking this call. You could very simply put, why are you booking this call? And then they can fill it in themselves, right? So just use that strategically. Don't just ask them for their favorite color, because that's not going to give you any type of information to have a better conversation, right? Semih, anything you want to add on this form or recapture?
I think the default one doesn't have phone number, so you can definitely put phone number in there as well.
Yep, that's a good idea.
And yeah, I think you touched on most of the points, all the points as well. Again, like this is why it's probably important thinking about those questions to have in as well, because if you want to create a custom workflows and stuff, those are the points where you'll need to make sure that information is there, so you can use that as a trigger. So for those advanced users, they'll get one, understand what I'm saying. So
100%. No, I think that's a great pro tip, Semih. Use custom questions, and then you can use those fields that are populated in this form from this scheduler to do whatever you want in a workflow. Now, before I jump off of this into the final tab, you've got capture, spam prevention you can turn on. You can block free email domains. You can allow guests. I love this feature with this turned on. Semih, how many times do we do onboarding calls and they want to bring like 50 people? So we're like, sure, you can allow guests. I think we're allowed up to 10. You can only allow up to 10, which is fine. We're happy with 10. So there's all these extra features. Again, what I say to clients when we're setting schedulers up, just take your time. Don't try and do this in a rush. Give it like 30 minutes. 30 minutes is all you probably need, maximum, to go through each of these items, have a read of them. And you know what HubSpot does great? They've got learn more on almost everything. So if you don't understand something, click learn more. It'll take you to a knowledge base and it'll educate you on what it is. I think with anything like this, when people don't take the time to set these things up, they get stuck and then they don't understand what something is. I've been doing this for close to 10 years and I still take my time when I'm setting up new meetings links, because there's so many different things that you can configure it for, right? The final tab within the tab inception is the confirmation. So once they've filled in the form, what do you want to show them? Display a default confirmation page. Here you go. You cannot customize this page. Stop asking me. It is what it is. Or you can redirect them to another page. If you choose to redirect them to another page, create the other page before you do this part, or come back, create it, put it in there. Pro tip, if you're a content creator and you like getting on camera, I would go and create a one-to-one talking head video where you're basically saying, hey, thanks for booking in a meeting with me. My name's so-and-so, and this is what we're going to cover off in this meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't wait to meet you. If you can do that, put it on a thank you page and then redirect it, like, you're winning. I haven't seen anyone do it yet, but if someone does it, let me know. And then you've got the standard. Yeah, landing page. Landing page works fine. It's what you put on that landing page that's going to set you apart. Right. Now, Semih did also mention collect payments before. So this is relatively new to HubSpot. I want to say like the last year or so, where you can start to create and put payment links into your meetings. So for example, a paid scoping, a paid consultation, a paid interview. I don't even know if that's a thing. But if you need someone to pay you to have this meeting with you, it looks like HubSpot's now allowing us to have these payment functionalities. Semih, you want to add anything onto the payment functionality for meetings?
Just note that there's for US users it's perfectly fine. For Australian or any other users, you do need to integrate Stripe with it, and there's also platform fees that you may end up paying. So again, if you're like a consultant that gets booked back to back, this is what I would consider. Just that way, you've got some form of barrier for your time and stuff. But yeah, I would definitely test it out, make sure it's working fine. I'm happy with it before I start rolling out to clients. It's just one more friction in the process. So just know that friction is there for a particular reason.
Yeah, like one more step which will add friction. Yeah, I totally get it. So just, consider whether or not you need it, right? And then the final tab up the top is automation. I love this part, right? When someone books in an email with you, send them a confirmation email. They'll get the calendar invite. You'll get the calendar invite, and a confirmation email goes to them. Great. Like, it's everything you need. Then you can automate pre-email reminders, pre-meeting reminders. You can customize these to a certain extent. As you can see here, it's very plain text, but don't overdo it. There's no need to. You don't need to potentially trigger spam filters on these emails. Just keep them simple. Personally, I like to do an email reminder 1 day before and 1 hour before, and they have been really helpful for clients. Like I get people rescheduling an hour before meetings because like, oh crap, I'm not ready for that meeting because Tasha's get me homework and I haven't done my homework. And 1 day before, same thing. So I like the different meeting reminders. You can configure those how you need them. And guys, that is it. That's literally setting up your meetings link. Now I'm going to go down here and save it. That was just the standard save. That was the standard setup. There's a few key things that we didn't cover off that we'll finish on. But essentially now you've got a few things. You've got the meeting link. So if we copy the link, put it in a new tab, you'll see here's my meeting. Here's my meetings link that I've configured. And we actually also get an embed code. Where did it go? It just disappeared from me. I think it's here.
Yeah.
There you go. You can also grab an embed code. So if you wanted to embed that meeting link widget, so that is like this whole thing here, you could embed that on a non-HubSpot page, like a WordPress page, a client or partner page or something like that. The only other thing I want to mention during our featured demo here is customizing the URL. So out of the box, your meetings link will say meetings.hubspot.com / and then your name and a number. But I believe you can customize your meetings URL if you go into your settings, and you have to be in your general settings. Is that right? Scroll
correct,
down,
yeah.
and then you can choose your setting domain. As long as you've connected a custom subdomain, you can choose your own subdomain in here. And that way there, if you've got like resources.redpandas.com.au / meeting with Tasha, that way there just kind of handles it just a slightly bit more. The only other thing you can customize as well is the colors here. So if you set up your account's default settings and you put the colors in there, you can change those colors. But that's it, guys. That's the meeting scheduler, how to set it up properly, with a couple of pro tips from a few people that have done it just a few times. But for the most part, Semih, over to you for any kind of final thoughts or wrap.
I think that's it, Tash. I think there was a very thorough breakdown of the meeting scheduler for those people that are looking to using it. If you're not using it, honestly, I highly recommend it. If you say I don't use it, I'm more of a one-to-one person. Honestly, there is you haven't found the need for it. So yeah, there's definitely a way to use it. Now, if you're running through the meeting scheduler and if you get stuck with anything, and you're like, hey, I've got this, or I've used it and it failed on me, or there was one part of it here, I highly recommend that you guys put some comments in the in YouTube if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're watching it from. We'd love to, or just reach out, let us know what your thoughts on it are, and more than happy to assist there. Again, like I said, if you haven't subscribed to our episodes, please give us a review or just subscribe or put a like in there. That would really support and give us some immediate feedback on how we can address your needs. Or if you have any thoughts as you're working through ideas on how to use meeting links, put it through here as well. Until next time, stop wasting your time chasing meetings, set up your HubSpot calendar right, and let the bookings roll in. See you next time in HubSpot Mentors.
Bye.
Bye.